Welcome back everyone to my IDC 37 run. This is the final Swiss round, where I'm up against Weezing at the top of his screen, who is playing Live Water Dark Nature Fortress Burn, and I'm at the bottom of his screen playing Live Water Dark Hydro Hurricane. Weezing already being Weezing types big think already, and I reply, wake me up after you charge mana. But he finally decided to charge Faliga, so gonna have to make a decision myself, and it looks like I got a pretty anti-aggro curve instead. But getting a more of an anti-aggro curve against control isn't as bad as getting a more anti-control curve against aggro, because you can always just draw more anti-control stuff later in time with stuff like Energy Stream, and so he's gonna ramp himself with Corpse Charger, presumably towards Lost Soul, so I'm gonna discard him and I'm gonna hit a Soul Swap. That's not a bad hit by any means, but a Lost Soul hit would have been really nice. Assuming here that he has Lost Soul, I'm gonna play Mistrias. Just so that if he Lost Souls me, I have something on the field that can generate advantage as well. So Weezing is probably thinking if he wants to Lost Soul me or if he wants to remove the Mistrias first. But unfortunately for me, he has Miraculous Plague, so I may even have to consider killing the Mistrias in exchange for the Gigabalza, so I can discard his last card. And that's exactly what I do. And it's a good thing I did, because he was a Faliga, which he could have used to retrieve the Plague again. So now I can just snipe his Sky Sword again with another Gigabalza, and I'm back to 5 mana. And even better, I'm gonna be back to 6 mana now, and I'm gonna boost Chimeras with Petrova. And I thought about going in for a second, but it's not worth it just yet. And at this point, I'm even thinking about going in, so I'm probably just gonna summon this other Petrova as well, boosting, yeah, probably Guardians and Maraus for defense, and now I'm probably even gonna go in. With such a good board presence, it's probably worth it. Since I already have a 2-turn clock with 2 Petrovas which cannot be targeted. And his top deck quality is already much better than mine. I don't have a Nice Vapor or Mistria set up, so going in aggressive is a valid strategy at this point. The main thing I don't want to hit is actually a Soul Swap, because he could swap in a Faliga or a Fortress Shell. But if I don't hit that particular trigger, I should be fine for the most part. So he's gonna just Bronze Arm Tribe into Fighter Duel Fang and attempt to kill my Petrova, which I'm just gonna block with the Maravuz. And now I'm just gonna bounce both of his cards with Hydro Hurricane, and don't even know what to give him from mana. Probably something expensive, like the Lost Soul and maybe a Fortress Shell. Because at this point I don't really care about my mana, my field is more important. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for game at this point, and that's gonna be it. Game 1 taken with direct attacks. Now we're on to game 2, where it looks like I'm gonna have a turn 3 energy stream into a clamp. I even get the Miraculous Snare to charge both light and water, which is pretty good. He's gonna have a Logic Cube in turn 3, looking for probably a clamp as well. Although a clamp isn't as good when you're going first as it is when you're going second. It's one of those few cards which is much better when you're going second. And it's just gonna get Spiral Gate, which is pretty weird to be honest. But now I'm just gonna cast the Energy Stream and dig more through my deck. Didn't uncover any Ice Vapor or baits for Gigazald or Ice Vapor. So at this point I'm just gonna keep casting Energy Streams to dig for something better. I didn't cast Clam because he had 5 cards in hand, so it's not that worth it at that point. If he does have Lost Soul, then I would rather be on a higher amount of mana, so I'm probably gonna cast Eureka Charger and summon Solgala. The fact he didn't search Lost Soul with his Logic Cube tells me he already has it in hand. But even still, why would he search Spiral Gate and not Miraculous Plague? Maybe he has both. Okay, he just plays Surfer for Bronze Arm Tribe. That's pretty weird to be honest. And I'm gonna play the Cranium Clamp, force him to discard. He's probably gonna discard the Bronze Arm Tribe and something else. Terror Pit and Bronze Arm Tribe, okay. He just wants to ramp. I guess he has a lot of Fortress Shells in hand or something. But then why would he search Spiral Gate and not Lost Soul or Plague? So that's a bit confusing to me. Now I can even go for a Gigazal to discard one of his cards, which is most likely a Soul Swap or a Fortress Shell. And it was a Fortress Shell, so it's good to get rid of one of them. But of course he had a second one, so he's gonna get rid of my Darkness mana. But now I can play Mistrias and Laura Giga. So I have both the Gigazald and the Mistrias set up. And he's just gonna top deck a Lost Soul for the Palolysis, which I don't mind. I'm just gonna play more cards, Gigabalza, Palolysis, and hopefully draw Hydro Hurricane at some point, or LWD Explorer would also be nice. She's just gonna swap out his Fortress Shell with a Soul Swap. She's gonna let me draw another card, but it's also gonna rid me of my Darkness mana again. And I do draw into LWD Explorer, which I could use for to get back Hydro. And it's honestly not a bad plan, to be honest. Like if he doesn't top deck anything that could mana burn me, like if he top decks something like Sky Sword, Bronze Arm Tribe, Surfer, but unfortunately for me he top decks a Miraculous Plague, which is gonna ruin my plan of double Hydro Hurricane. He was a 50-50 whether he would top deck something that could allow him to mana burn or something else, and he got the coin flip. And now, since I only have 13 cards in my deck, all he has to do is to keep me on a low amount of mana until I deck out. Yeah, I'm just gonna summon a Gigabalza. Not much I can do. I would need him to break pretty hard for me to cast my first Hydro. But yeah, even Logic Cube is gonna allow him to pick up Soul Swap to swap out Fortress Shell. And yeah, there goes my Darkness, unless he wants to get rid of the light. But yeah, getting rid of 2 civilizations is better than just 1. So I have no choice but to charge the Miraculous Plague to unlock both Water and Darkness, and at this point he's just gonna lose Soul of me, which is gonna cause me to lose both of my Hydros, so at this point I could even just scoop, but I just play it out because there's still the hope for 1 Hydro Hurricane remaining. With Corpse Charger is gonna be able to get back Fortress from his grave, and it's too bad that I'm 1 mana short, because this Gigazald would have been nice to discard his final 2 cards. But yeah, definitely that was the turning point. The turn where he top deck Miraculous Plague. After this Fortress, I'm just gonna scoop, because I'm already on 2 mana and only 8 cards in deck. There's nothing. There's not much chance for me to get back into this. So yeah, we're going on to game 3, and it says 2-minute AFK, so I'm gonna skip a bit ahead. Okay, and he's back, so he's gonna think about his first charge. It looks like I'm gonna have 3 Mystrias in my hand and an Ice Vapor, so I'm definitely gonna keep all of them. I'm gonna charge this Palolysis and just hold on to 3 Mystrias and an Ice Vapor. Unfortunately, he does have the turn 3 Bronze Tribe, so yeah, I'm gonna charge the Miraculous Plague to remove the multi-brick out of my hand. He's just gonna Spiral Gate his own Bronze Tribe. Now I'm just gonna charge the Mystrias and hold on to an Energy Stream. Just set up an Ice Vapor. And just hope it doesn't have any Miraculous Plague. Because if it does, even Ice Vapor won't help too much. And yeah, unfortunately he has the Miraculous Plague, but at least he's gonna have to discard a card from his hand. So I'm just gonna put the Plague in my grave, and it's a good thing I held onto the Energy Stream, because now I can cast it for turn 4. He's gonna forget that he has to discard both a card from his hand and his mana. I'm not sure if he's doing this intentionally, hoping that I would forget, but now that's a really good thing that I top deck Eureka Charger, which is really gonna shine in this matchup, undoing the Plague, basically. I just hope he doesn't top deck a Lost Soul. Just gonna play Energy Stream after Energy Stream. And now I have to decide whether I wanna charge a second Mystrias or the Palolysis. Probably just gonna charge the Energy Stream and hold on to all my Mystrias. And there's the Ice Vapor back on the field. And I'm already winning the deck out race because he played double Energy Stream. Yeah, and he's really thinking about how he could deal with this Ice Vapor again. If he plagues it, then I'm just gonna resummon it next turn, and he's gonna have to sacrifice 2 more cards. Interestingly enough, it charges the Aqua Surfer, which he could have used to bounce it. Maybe he's just looking to ramp now. So he's just gonna play an Ice Vapor of his own, which is understandable. Here I'm just gonna play one of the Mystrias. Not sure if I wanna hold on to Palolysis or Mystrias, because if I hold on to Palolysis I can just play Mystrias plus Palolysis next turn when I'm on 8 mana, but having more Mystrias in hand is good just to play around removal. And he's gonna play Miraculous Plague, forcing him to discard. He's just gonna discard Aqua Surfer from both his hand and his mana zone. But of course I'm just gonna keep resummoning the Ice Vapor. And that was a good choice by him, forcing me to remove the Hydro Hurricane, because I need a Terror Pit mana for the Ice Vapor. And now he's just gonna use the Soul Swap to swap out the Ice Vapor for a Paralysis. And he's gonna have to discard a mana again. So Ice Vapor did a pretty good job this game. Gonna charge the Hydro Hurricane here and just play Mystrias plus Bilex probably. I'm kinda forced to play Bilex here, just to dig in through the deck a bit. However, the Ice Vapor on his side of the field is gonna make things complicated. Gonna really have to think when and how I cast my Hydro Hurricanes. Probably just gonna charge the Hydro just to summon Bilex. Even if he sets me back in mana, at least I get to have more light creatures on the field, and yeah. He already has 2 Miraculous Plagues in the grave. And 1 in his mana zone, so I'm not too afraid of this plague at this point. Just gonna play Bilex, so he's gonna swap my Mystrias, and it's a good thing I held on to 3 of my Mystrias, because one was removed by Plague completely and 1 was removed by Soul Swap. So now I have the 4th Mystrias as a backup. But of course he's just gonna keep top decking answers for it, so yeah. I think at this point I'm just gonna summon both of the Gigabalsas just to have Chimera baits ready for when I eventually top deck Gigazald. At least most of his plagues and soul subs are gone. But now it's gonna top deck a Logic Cube. Three of his soul subs are in grave, so his final soul sub could either be in his shields or his deck. If it's in the deck, he could swap out his Sky Sword just to ramp a bit. And yeah, there he goes, his final soul sub for a Sky Sword ramp. And now I could use the Hydro Hurricane to bounce 3 of his mana. I'm probably just gonna bounce the Ice Vapor and the Bilex and not the Sky Sword. And just give him some of the more expensive cards like Fighter Duel Fang, Aqua Surfer and Plague. Or even the other Bilex. Yeah, just give him Bilex, Fighter Duel Fang and Surfer, because he would have to set himself back even more if he summons those Bilex. I'm really thinking about this Hydro. I'm probably just gonna sacrifice the Giga Slug from hand to the Ice Vapor. And also the beauty of this move is that if he gets Faliga, he's gonna be too low in mana to cast the Soul Sub straight away. So those 4 Soul Subs are gonna be gone for a long time. Also thinking a bit ahead if I want to use the Plague instead or not. But it's more worth it to use the Hydro Hurricane because I'm gonna bounce 2 mana. And I'm gonna give him the Plague instead. Now I'm gonna remove the Marowus from the mana zone just because it's the weaker swap target. And now I'm even thinking about going in with the Giga Balsas. Just hope I don't break into Locomotiver, and that's probably why I don't do it just yet. Now it's gonna summon Ice Vapor, and to my surprise I get a Gigazard off the top, so I'm gonna take this time to discard 3 cards from his hand. Fetch for Holio, Bilex and Fighter Dual Fang. Now I'm even gonna... wait, hang on. I know I gave him a Miraculous Plague, so because of that I'm just gonna charge this Petrova and cast Miraculous Plague. Take him off of his Darkness mana, so he cannot Terror Pit my Gigazald. Okay, so I decide to take him off the light mana. And I kind of forgot to remove a mana from the Ice Vapor effect. Let's see if I remember to do that. Now I'm just gonna go in for shields one by one. I do change my mind and I go in with Gigazald first, just so I don't have to lose it to a Terror Pit. And I scroll back into the chat to see if I respected the ice Vapor effect. And I just realized it now when I'm discarding one of the cards. I think he's probably away from keyboard, because otherwise he would have just broken the shield straight away. And there's a Terror Pit out of shields, which he's gonna use to destroy the Gigazald, so at this point I'm just gonna go in with the 2 Gigabalsas. And it's a good thing I got rid of his light mana, because he would need 1 light card and the Faliga to get back his Soul Swaps or his Miraculous Plagues. And he finds the Logic Cube for the light mana and a Bronze Tribe plus Energy Stream. And that's a Spiral Gate, which is probably gonna bounce the Gigabalsa. Even if I can resummon it, at least it's gonna save one of his shields. He could also just bounce the Soul Gala, so he doesn't have to receive a random discard next turn. But he decides he wants to save the shield now, which is fair enough. And there's a Sky Sword and a Bronze Tribe, ramping himself even more. I'm gonna have an Energy Stream and just resummon the Gigabalsa. I'm gonna go in with Solgala first because it can potentially be 4000 power. If he summons a Bilex or something, I could just cast the spells to run over it. He only has 8 cards in deck, so I could also just play around deck out as well. But since I'm putting so much pressure on his shields already, just by pressuring his shields, I will also pressure him to deck himself out because he would have to spam Sky Swords. And I top deck another Giga Balza, which is gonna discard his final card. But I'm just gonna take the last shield and go for game. That was a pretty long but very nice match, especially the final game. So yeah, I won 4 matches and I lost 2, but I didn't qualify to top 8 due to tiebreakers. I have to say I am much more happy with this Hydro Hurricane list, which should be on the screen for those of you who are interested. And until the next tournament, see ya.